My friends, these are difficult times. Watching scenes from Afghanistan, watching the rise of the COVID variant around the world and the resurgence of the pandemic, seeing the tragic shooting of a yeshiva student in Denver, watching, looking, seeing, observing. Sometimes it's tempting to look away, not to see. In our parasha, TEITZEI, we are taught 74 of the 613 commandments. Many of them address the ways we assume responsibility for others around us. One such mitzvah focuses on what we see, or what we choose to see. The verse begins, Lo tir'eh, you shall not see, but then it actually continues, Lo tir'eh et shor achicha, o et seyo nidachim, you shall not see your fellow's property, their ox or sheep in this case, that is lost, v'hit'alamta mehem, and then ignore it. This focuses on the moment when we are witness to something, when we see a need, and then we might make a decision to try and unsee it, so to speak, to ignore it. I'm always so taken with this verb that is used here, v'hit'alamta, to ignore, or literally to hide. Rashi describes the meaning of this verb as the action of covering one's eyes, pretending as if he did not see. If we see, but then we try not to see, then we won't feel compelled to take action. When faced with someone else's need or suffering, it is sometimes easier to not see it. Not because we are callous or selfish, but because we're not sure we can help or how to help. But the Torah instructs us not to hide our eyes. In this case, when one sees someone else's property, their animal has gone astray, hashev tishivem la'achicha, return it. This is the mitzvah of hashavat aveda, returning all kinds of lost objects to their rightful owner. This is a fairly simple and generally easy mitzvah to do, but what about seeing deeper needs, troubling things, situations that evoke our empathy or even our horror? In the ancient world, the only people we were seeing were those in our immediate surroundings. In our time, we see so much, sometimes too much. Images from the news or social media bombard our senses. They beg us to see when it is impossible to act on everything we see. It can be overwhelming. Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor. Pirkei Avot teaches ours is not to finish the work, but neither are we free to desist from it, to ignore it. Let us have the courage to open our eyes, and then to determine what we are able to see and how we can act. This commandment calls on us to commit a small act of kindness, and we know that a just and moral and caring society begins with a single act. Make a call to someone who's concerned or alone. Find a local food bank that's supporting refugees. Say a prayer for a family who is bereaved. But whatever we do, let us not close our eyes. Our ability to see or hear or perceive is the very first step toward action. Shabbat Shalom.